Welcome to the Exposer. So people, Mariam has put out a periscope like she does every Tuesday. But we know the past week there's been a lot of proof and evidence that has been put out in regards to what she has done and what she has said. So let's hope that she addresses all the allegations and all the evidence that's been put out against her.
It was almost like my mind was thinking, what do people want me to say? What do I talk about now? And it should never be the case of you're speaking because of what other people want you to say, or you're speaking because you're responding back to other people's expectation. Yes, there is a time where those things are very important and those things are very needed, but that shouldn't be the basis of what you do, because I didn't start live streaming, I didn't start having conversations with you guys, my friends, based on other people's issues. So it's just about kind of carrying on from what we normally do. So the first thing that came to my mind this morning, the reason I'm even late, I was on a call with one of my clients for about an hour and a half, and the girls were listening in, and they were like, how do you do that? How do you just have this amazing call and get this person to work with you how you want them to work with you, to think how you want them to think and on your level? And absolutely, of course, get them to basically hear what you're saying and do what you want them to do, in short, because it makes sense for everybody. But I got a message yesterday from a TV station saying, oh, they're kind of doing this episode or this show and stuff like that. And the first instance when I first saw it, if I'm honest, it did take me back. I was like, oh shit, like what? So when I saw what they said that they're gonna do, I was like, oh wow, this is interesting. But I didn't really read into it much. I kind of left it as that. But I went back into it and I fully read what they were saying. And the basis of their show was completely just lies. Some things were true, some things were true. And I read the truth part. The negative stuff, I just thought, you're just reaching now. You're reaching, like many bloggers. I saw, guys, who remembers that old blogger called Beauty by Jay? Old school blogger. She came out like when, girls help me, I don't watch YouTube. What's this girl's name again? Faye? What's this blogger? What's the one that, Patricia. Patricia, at least we know Patricia. Even me, I know Patricia. So even if Patricia's insulting me, I'm like, at least I know you. The one that can't figure out what name she's gonna be this week, that week. She came late in the game. I think our competitor is Patricia. Yeah. So because Patricia did a video on us, or on me, she went and did one as well. I don't even have a response because she's so ancient and so outdated. She didn't make it. They didn't send you an invite to Joe. Those invites go to Patricia. You will continue to do New Look and things like that, and that's where you will stay. I don't even have a response for you. Like, just stop reaching. It's so boring. Like, as in, we didn't know you still. Exactly, guys. See, it's not just, I'm not being a mean girl. I didn't even know you still do you. Let me even see if I can find her on Instagram right now. See what her pictures look like. These people are just so boring. Why are you reaching for me? I'm not. It's just boring. What is it? What's her name now? Karima, text me her name. Don't put it on here. Just text it to me so I can see. I found it. That's the one. All now, no verification. That's such a shame, man. Rubbish, man. And the caption of her I think the caption of the video was dating men and then about us. How? Like, you just know that this is a very confused person, like a very confused person. It's just, the reaching is so, I don't even have words. I can't abuse, I can't cuss, because I don't do those things. I don't shame, I don't do those things. But it's really poor. It's a really poor attempt. It's a really, really poor attempt. I've just seen her. Thank you. I'm not impressed. I'm not inspired. You're not inspiring. and you're naked. I'm looking on your Instagram now, half naked bikini pictures, but you want to talk about God. Shut up, man. I don't have time for that. But in short, what I was saying was that she was like, people are always reaching, but so I got this letter yesterday. One of my girls came to me and she said, oh, you know, I'm having issues at home. It's great, right? Yeah, so she was telling me she's having issues at home with her dad and things like that, and she was just sharing a few things with me, and I said, sit down, let me tell you some of my problems. By the time I finished, her mouth was on the floor, and even me then, I was like, I went back, I told her what happened to me. I didn't share it with anybody else at the time. I said, oh look, I just got this message and this is what it reads. It's really crazy. I'm just kind of digesting how I'm going to deal with this backlash. What am I going to do about this information? Because half of which isn't the truth. And I meditated on this thing for about 6.5 seconds and I was over it. And I'll tell you why. Because people are going to do what they want to do anyway. People are going to say things about you that they don't know anyway. You cannot control them. I can't even control what my daughter does. I think she did something yesterday that was so funny. She got in trouble, I put in the naughty corner. I said, are you ready to come out of the naughty corner? She said she's not ready to come out of the naughty corner. I realized then you can't control people. Even your child, you can't control people at all. You can't control what people say, what they do. And therefore you've got to allow people to do what they want to do. I'm looking at the television channels and the people, the bloggers that are writing and saying things. Nobody watches the BBC. Nobody watches MTV still now. You guys don't. Netflix, we watch it. People don't watch that. You guys don't even watch EastEnders anymore on live TV. They're losing so much ratings and they have to use people like us as a pawn to be able to get what they want to get, to be able to get the viewership. Newspapers, people don't buy newspapers. One of my mentees was at the Telegraph for 6 years. Hello, Telegraph. One of my mentees was your graphic designer for 6 years, 6 solid years. You don't get paid. People don't subscribe anymore. So as much as this is great, I also have intel. Yes, I do. You know, you can't stop the influence of a person that has people. The thing is, you can say whatever you want, but the fact of the matter is, I've invested enough time mentoring people. The nation has invested enough time raising people that you cannot stop a movement that is too far gone. It's too late to stop something that can't be stopped. The reality of the matter is this. I thought about this, right? I thought, I can't change my name anymore. I've done it too many times. It's just going to become ridiculous. So the name has to stay. But I'm not dead. So you cannot stop something. You cannot stop a person unless you kill that person. Should even if you put them in jail. They even give it free at the station, but people refuse to collect the papers. That's the fact. Even if you put somebody in prison for life, look at Nelson Mandela. You cannot stop a person unless you kill that person. And I'm not dying. So I just started thinking about the bigger issues that there is at hand. There is so much going on in the world and the nation have taken their focus off it. But the most important thing is that you and I, we can't take our hands off the work. We cannot take our hands off the plow. We cannot take our hands off the important work that we have to do. We have to keep on going. Why? Because they're not going to stop doing what they're doing. So by the time they look back, they have to see that you've still built what you're doing. You've still grown. You're still raising people. You're still serving people. You're still sitting with people. You're still mentoring people. You're still coaching people. You're still housing people. Homelessness is still a factor. So I'm thinking, what do I do? Because of what I've heard. Do I turn around and tell everybody that I live with, guys, I think, you should leave now because I don't know how to. How do I then make people homeless? Newham Council's not going to take them. Tower Hamlets is not going to take them. Who's going to take them? They're not going to take them. You're not going to take them in. Benefit, already to get on benefits is an issue. Universal Credit will begin to give you all manner of issues. To get on JSA, all manner of issues. So I'm really understanding that the fight now is to stop me from doing the work I do. The fight now is to stop you from doing the work you do. No, you have to continue to push, because the reality of the matter is, I sat down yesterday and I was sharing some stories with my family, and I was saying to them, I was reading the word to them, and I was reading Matthew 6 to them, and it's one of my favorite scriptures of all time. So those of you that kind of don't agree with a lot of the things I say, read Matthew 6 in the TPT. In fact, let me get my Bible coming, guys. I'm never gonna stop talking about giving. I'm not gonna private my account. It's not gonna happen. Why? Because my followership is not based on those that are in my WhatsApp story or those that go to my church. The people that I've been following for ages. The moment I turn this on private, those that actually listen to the things I have to say, they will never they will never get to hear the word. Because for some people, this is the most church they're ever gonna get. And that's the fact. But the words are so harsh, and they're so harsh that it seems almost near enough impossible. And it is. My style of giving, our style of giving, it's impossible. It's almost asking people to do what cannot be done. And it cannot be done. It can only be done in the realm of the spirit. So the words I say, I was reading back. I'm reading this thing that they sent me, and I'm like, did I say that? Oh my God, Mariam, man, that's a bit tough. It says, this is why I tell you never to be worried about your life. For all that you need will be provided, such as food, water. And when it got to the water part, I began to say to those in my house, I know now why you are struggling. I know now why we are failing. I know now why there is a hunger. I know now why there is a lack. Because there is a requirement for you and I. You're all pastors. I've been saying this to them all, even those that are not ordained. I'm saying you're all pastors. You're all ministers of this work. You're all prophets. But you're not giving people the word in your mountain. You get to work and you sit there, you're quiet. You get to this office, or you get to your uni, you're quiet, you don't speak the word. There is no water, because who is supposed to provide this water? It says that for all that you need will be provided, such as food and water. There is a call. There is almost like there's almost like a, what's the English? I've lost my words. It's almost like there's a mandate. There is a mandate for you to provide water on your mountain. There is a mandate for you to speak up. I began to see, and the truth of the matter is, guys, I hear people say, oh, raising vulnerable people. The people that live with me, I'm the most vulnerable person in my house. I'm the most vulnerable person. My house is full of doctors and scientists that go to the best university in the world. PAs of the largest insurance companies in the world, largest fashion companies in the world. And I sat to them and I said to them, I know why there would be struggle for you. Because you don't speak. When Christ said he's the bread of life, he wasn't the bread of life yet. He still spoke a word. So I got a word for myself yesterday, is that I'm never going to stop speaking. All I've got to do is keep standing on this thing every Tuesday morning and project the gospel. I'm still going to project on my mountain as if. And let me tell you guys something now. Let me tell you something now. I don't know what you're saying. Do you want to ask a question properly? Now, I deeped it and I thought to myself, no, I cannot stop speaking. Because that is what the enemy wants to happen, is that, no, you just stop speaking. And even if I'm not here, I've worked on those that are with me so much that even if I'm not here, you wouldn't know that I'm not here. Because they speak like me. They sound like me. I hear Pastor Sandra giving the word and she's mad. And I'm like, that looks like me. The drought of the word is so near that people are, there is such a drought of the word that people are looking for power. I've never seen young people look for fame so much. Some of these bloggers that I've mentioned to you, they do black magic just for views. Just for views. They cannot sleep at night. They're going. There is a drought of the word. But all they need is the word. All they need is water. But people like you are afraid. My job is to minister. To be sincere, I have no issues with any of them. Jennie, Jenkins, I don't know. I love them. Why? Because they're giving me the opportunity to give them the word. Therefore, on the last day, they cannot now say to God that they didn't hear the word. The Lord will say, but do you remember Mariam? She was given the word. You cannot say you didn't hear the word on giving. You cannot say you didn't hear the word on living righteously. Young women can now no longer say they never got a chance to hear the gospel. As I'm looking at my Periscope views, I'm seeing 10,000 views, 6,000 views. You cannot say you never got an opportunity to hear the word. You cannot stop speaking. More now than ever, God is looking for prophets. I'm not going to change the tone of my Periscopes and start speaking about fashion. That's not what I'm called to do. I'm a pastor. I'm not going to change what God has called me to do. I'm not going to become a fake prophet. What is a fake prophet? A man or a woman who cannot speak the word of God anymore. They were called to speak the word, but they changed. Or in fact, they look like they're going to speak a word, but they come out and they say something else. No, I'm not going to change what I was born to do. All I was born to do was speak this word. Why? Because a drought is coming. A drought of the word is coming. So what do I need the financiers to do? To become prophets and speak. To become Christ and speak. As the financiers begin to speak more, as the mobilizers begin to speak more, what will happen is that the bread will multiply. But as the prophets are not speaking, the bread is not multiplying. What does it mean to have a feeding mentality? There is nothing that I'm teaching you different to what the government is teaching. Except that it's backed by the word. I'm teaching young people to go and get a job. I'm teaching young people the principles of the feeder mentality. You cannot feed if you are not working. Guys, I'm going to tell you something. I'm going to be very honest. I'm about to get worse. I haven't started a single thing. Do you know what? For the 6 seconds, I was a bit annoyed. Not upset. I told you guys I don't get upset. For the 6 seconds, I was a little bit annoyed. Do you know what the funny part is? I read this thing again, and I'm gonna be bold enough to say this. What these people were accusing me of were criminal activity. I said, what the offer? Criminal activity. How ironic. You must ask yourself this, Mr. Journalist, tuning in, Mrs. Journalist or BBC researcher. If the things that these people are saying are half true, considering my rap sheet, do you know how fast the police would come to my house? Do you know how fast? So there cannot be any truth whatsoever. The police's dream is to have somebody like me arrested in front of the papers. It's their dream. There is zero substance in anything. Zero substance, zero fact in anything. I have very good friends. Very, very good friends in the criminal justice system. Amazing friends. I think you saw me speak at a criminal justice event just the other day. So if there was any truth to half of the allegations, why will I be called to speak in front of the heads of every single prison, the people who run the criminal justice? Go on my YouTube, look at the video. It wasn't last year. It was just a few weeks ago. Why will I be called to do these engagements, these programs? So it's just propaganda or an opportunity for you guys to slander and sabotage somebody's name. As I'm reading this thing, one of the things said that, she was last arrested in 2014. Piss off. So somebody hasn't got the ability to rehabilitate their life 5 years on. So in 2020, we're still going to be talking about what Mariam did in 2014. Yeah, I did it. Guess what, guys? Hear me. I did the crime, I paid the time, and I paid every penny back. Even after I came out of jail, I had to go to court and pay every penny back. So I now completely understand. This is a sabotage to stop me from speaking the word. My issues are not orchestrated by Satan or by people that don't like me. I don't believe, hear me, I can see all manner of comments. I hate you, I hate you. There's probably one person with multiple accounts chatting shit. I don't believe there's anybody that hates me. My mind just doesn't go there. It doesn't. My mind can't stretch that far. I just live in a space where there's just so much love. My mind cannot think as to why somebody would hate me. It doesn't go that far. I believe God is orchestrating all of what looks like hate to push me more in the word, to push me more to pray, to push me more into this word. Call me crazy if you like, but I'm choosing to believe that because I'm only reading the scripture. I'm not going mad. What is the scripture saying? Oh, Shaliyata Mandara Siyata. It says that the days are coming, declares the Lord, when God himself will send a famine. They have to feed. I have to starve so the souls can eat. I have to have a feeding mentality. Now, the scripture says, this is what I'm telling you, don't worry. Isn't there more to your life than a meal? You know, as I was speaking with my family about this last night, I really hope that they were not thinking I was talking about material things. Clothes. Guys, I say that somebody's like, oh, she's a pastor that boasts about wearing fancy. I can talk about these things because they're my truth. I can walk into Chanel right now and buy a bag, but I don't need to. I don't want to. Because there are bigger issues. I'm facing poverty that I'm dealing with every day with young people. My issues are not posting pictures on Instagram and looking like a top. That's the truth. Guys, I'm not gonna be subdued. I'm not gonna be a female pastor that is scared about talking about the real issues we're facing every day. No. Somebody has to keep talking. Somebody has to not back down. Somebody has to keep their account open and keep projecting the word fearlessly. Now, there are other reasons why our other accounts are on private. There are reasons. But I'm talking about me this morning. I'm not going to be worried about what somebody else feels about my assignment. I'm not going to be worried about what somebody else feels about my call in life. No. Guys, it's high time now that we push harder than before. As I said to you guys this morning, there are bigger issues. What are my issues? What are the issues of my issues? What are the issues I face every day? Absolutely financial. Yeah, transparently. I have to think about how I'm going to feed 10 to 15 people every day. Those are my issues. Before I do anything, that's my first issue, is what are we eating today? It's my first issue. What are the other issues? Worrying about how I'm going to house 10 people. Standard. Those are my issues. Those are my issues. My issues are not materialistic. No, my issues are not what did Alexander Wang bring out on the runway. Those are not my issues. It's because you don't know. You don't know. Non, je peux pas enlever la perruque parce que comme c'est là, si je la lève, ça va être un peu fatigué pour tout le monde. Ça arrête les bêtises. You know when you have to respond to the hate in French because they're writing to you in French. Don't take your eyes off. Don't take your eyes off what you're supposed to be doing. The battles you're supposed to be winning. No. It's now time to unify more than before. More than ever. It's now time to unify more than ever. It's now time to establish people more than ever before. It's now time to feed them the word more than ever before. It's not a time to shake. It's not a time to be of self. I began to say to my family yesterday that, you see, self is so heavy. Self is so heavy. Self is so heavy that it's translated to being careful. It's translated to worry. It's translated to being timid. It's translated to I'm just shy. No, there are big issues. The issue of feeding. The issue of starving souls. Have to be the sacrificial lamb. Or we have to be the sacrificial lamb that's going to be used to be slandered or to be dragged across the floor and whatever, in order for people to, what's the word I'm looking for? In order for people to hear the gospel in a new way. They may not accept this gospel, but it may be for the new churches that are going to rise, that are going to do things differently. I don't mind being that. I don't have a name I'm trying to protect. I don't have a brand I'm trying to build. I don't have a product I'm trying to sell. I don't care. I'm not a blogger or anything like that, or somebody that I've got nothing to lose. I don't have a contract I'm scared of losing. Because if I had one, I would have lost it by now. There is a problem you're supposed to solve. There is a huge issue, whether it's climate change, for goodness sakes, or it is philanthropy, thinking about feeding people around the world, or it's about homelessness, one of the biggest issues we have in the United Kingdom, or crime. 11 years of young people being killed in London and the crime rate increasing heavily. There are bigger issues. I'm not the issue. There are bigger issues, and I would like us all to turn our focus back on London, our focus back on the issues that are slamming us every day. Even for those of you that don't agree with the things I say, the money spent talking about me hasn't stopped me speaking. One, the money spent talking about the nation hasn't stopped them doing the good work. But what I would have loved to see, quick solution before I go, a gathering of journalists that talk about helping young people, take money from their own pocket and saying, I give to this organ. Don't tell me about the other charitable organizations. They're the ones that you do direct debit, but you don't see the people that you help, or you don't even see where the money goes. I give out X amount of hours of my life to help young people. And that is why I'm so passionate about seeing change in that space. I give X amount of money to young people. How about the issues of fraud in your church? Clear the issues, that we can discuss other issues. Okay, now, on that matter, there are no such issues. If there were, I don't know if we're dealing with a generation of imbeciles, but do the maths. If those issues were half true, not all true, half true, you would have heard of an arrest. There isn't one. There is no investigation because they're not true. That's why I'm saying take our focus back to the issues that are there. Go and help out at your local youth center. Go back. The amount of hours wasted on these TV shows, but they can't give a young rapper that's trying to come out of his community some airtime on TV. You guys are joking. You don't want to help nobody. You want to make sales, and you want to use young black people to make sales for your failing organizations. Your organization is failing. People are leaving. You're making redundancies every single day, chopping up jobs left, right, and center. Should we call it what it is? I've got time for this morning. Failing people everywhere. You don't even employ people. How many young black people have you employed in your organization? It's still failing people everywhere. You don't even employ people. How many young black people have you employed in your organization? It's still quiet. We have to create products called BAME. I speak to the CEO of most of these corporate organizations, and they don't have any idea until we educate them. I want us to go back and face the issues that matter. How about do a TV show on all the corporate organizations that don't employ young people, that keep young people trapped in communities? How about do an intel on all the companies that have built offices around King's Cross, which is still poor North London, Canary Wharf, which is still East London, poverty-stricken, Stratford Westfield, where there is still poverty, gang crime, knife crime everywhere. What are these businesses that are exploiting those communities doing to give back to them? You want to talk about finances and exploitation of people? Guys, let's be a bit more educated when we have a conversation. I'm not calling them liars. I've never called anybody a liar in my life. I'm just saying that bring the fact and bring it in front of the law and let the law make their decisions. That's what I'm saying. We live in a law-abiding company or city. We live in a law-abiding city. And anything that is wrong, if I've done something wrong, complain, report me. I stand firm on that. And anybody else. But let's, as a city of people, of young people, let's not allow these people to continue to exploit us and use us for clout. I love you guys. I'll see you next Tuesday. Bye-bye.
So you guys heard what she had to say. She started this video by directly attacking a YouTuber. Someone with a big platform. And just because that YouTuber used the platform to raise awareness about the corruption going on in this organization, she felt the need to respond to it. She tried to make it out like that YouTuber is not known and that YouTuber is old. And her ways of getting back at the YouTuber is by saying that the YouTuber is naked and how the YouTuber is basically talking rubbish because they're just trying to copy another YouTuber who's in direct competition with them. This was Mariam's way of responding to them. She mentioned that this YouTuber doesn't have a verification, so therefore this YouTuber isn't as established as another YouTuber. But the reality is, whether one has a blue tick on their platform or not, both YouTubers are big. And even the YouTuber who she's showing support in this video has come out and actually exposed the allegations that's going on at Spac also. So Mariam trying to use one of them to attack the other YouTuber is very invalid. Because what that tells us is Mariam is very aware of what's being said about her online. She's very aware of what's being said about her organization. And every time she gets the chance of going back at someone, is because she knows that that person has a big platform. Otherwise, she wouldn't have mentioned the person's name. She mentioned the person's name because she knows that that person is bringing light to her church. So, this is a sign of a woman that is quite stressed out, and she felt the need to respond. Later on, she is quizzed by someone who says to her, what do you think of the allegation of fraud that's being said about your church? And she fully denies everything. And her answer is, if fraud was going on, police would have arrested her a long time ago. She's saying that if half of the allegation was true, police would have arrested them. But what she's failing to understand is, the alleged fraud that's being done by these Spac pastors is carefully done. Because they are targeting certain type of people. And they are manipulating these people to taking out loans. So technically, by law, it's not fraud. But the corruption is the fact that these pastors allegedly are lying to these people and they're not giving the money back. And they're using different techniques and different tactics. So therefore, it's still fraud to a certain extent because they are lying to these people. So things like that takes a long time for police to arrest you because it's not direct fraud. It's not like the Spac members went into their accounts and transferred money illegally. What they have done is made these people transfer their money that they have taken under the other person's name, which is still illegal, but it takes a bit longer to prove. So the investigation will take long. This is one of the reasons why police haven't gone down to arrest Mariam or any of the pastors who allegedly have been doing fraud or scamming other people. But what this tells me also is this woman doesn't have a heart, because there's so many victims that she knows personally who have left the church because members of that church have allegedly corrupted them. Members of the church have allegedly done things that they should have done to these members. There's young girls aged 17 years old who were under Mariam's guidance or mentorship who have left. And she knows the troubles that these young girls are facing. So instead of coming out and having a bit of sympathy for some of the victims, even one or two, she downplays the idea that anybody has been a victim of any wrongdoing at Spac Nation. This tells us a lot about her character. She has no heart for anyone that's no longer part of the organization, even though a lot of people are suffering. We have seen evidence. She's failing to respond to the real facts and the real allegation when it comes to her WhatsApp groups with her voice on it, demanding members in her WhatsApp group to raise a certain amount of money. The messages where she's asking members to raise large sums of money in a short period of time. She's not responding. She's pretending like she's not seeing these facts that I'm bringing out on this channel. But she responds to other people who are just giving their opinion. But she doesn't want to respond to the people who are showing facts. So again, that shows a lot about her. She mentioned that she has to stress out every single day about feeding 10 to 15 people. She has to stress every day about housing 10 to 15 people. This is her words. But then she did mention that the people that live with her were PA of big organizations, people with high quality paid jobs. So she keeps contradicting herself with that aspect, because if all these people that live with you had well paid jobs, why are they living under you? And why are you stressing about providing for them? Why would you need them to live with you? The contradiction is crazy, because she's saying all of these things but then needs those people to live under her. We have all the evidence and all the facts of why these people live under her, why these people live with her. All the evidence is already out there and we all know the truth. So she needs to stop pretending. Later on, she also mentions how we need to stop focusing on her and her organization, because the real corrupted people allegedly are like the government, people at the higher power, because there's a lot of poverty in our communities and all of these things. But what she's failing to understand is people do speak out on these things, on these matters. But right now, we have a serious thing going on. And that's why a lot of young people around London, in our communities, are really suffering because of what her organization has done to them. The debt that they've put on these young people. And how these guys are destroying the young people's futures, because they're playing a major part in ruining our community. So we must speak out against them also. So it was a nice try for her to try and make our focus change. But our focus will go back to all these things once her corrupted organization realizes what they have done to our community. When she realizes what she has done and the role that she has played in destroying a lot of young people's lives. When she realizes that, then maybe some members of our community may forgive them. But first, they need to address all the allegations. Do not pick and choose when you respond. And who you respond to. Respond to the truth that's out there. The evidence, visual evidence. So this is not rumors. These are facts that are being showed. So this is what Mariam is saying, guys. Again, another long video that she's put out, failing to address any of the real issues going on. She's clearly losing the race. And she even mentioned at one point that she doesn't mind being the sacrifice. She doesn't mind people putting everything on her if it means saving her organization. But what she needs to know is the focus is not just on her. The reason why she's being exposed the most is because she's deciding to at least come on her videos to try and talk and respond to some of the things. Whereas all the other members of her organization are all hiding and they're afraid. So it is normal that more videos is posted about Mariam, because the main guy himself is hiding.